เสียงใช่ไหม
ได้ยินค่ะ
วันนี้อาจจะใช้เวลาแค่สั้นๆเหมือนเดิม Okay. This topic is about assessment of right ventricular functions and right ventricular structure by echocardiography. Assessment of right ventricular function is most often performed, especially in patients with suspected inferior myocardial wall infarction, atrial septal defect, ventricular septal defect in case of right side enlargement, complex congenital heart disease, valvular heart disease, and also frequently used in acute pulmonary embolism, pulmonary hypertension, arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia, and as well as in operative assessment. And this picture, this echocardiogram on your right side shows right side enlargement in case of in patient with acute pulmonary embolism. And this is outline today. Consists of anatomy of right ventricle, right atrium, echocardiographic views, and echocardiographic assessment of right and right atrial and right ventricle. Before assessment of right ventricle, you have to know about RV morphology. RV morphology is very complex, even in normal subject or normal study. And RV has myofiber arrangement in endocardium. Myocardial arrangement of epicardium, which occur in circumferential direction, and longitudinal myofibers arrangement in endocardium. So RV contraction can occur in two main directions, which are circumferential direction and longitudinal direction. RV consists of three components: inlet portion, trabecular portion, and outlet portion. Inlet portion consists of tricuspid valve, chordae tendineae, and papillary muscle. And outlet portion, or maybe called infundibulum part, there is the smooth muscle, smooth wall that RVOT beneath pulmonic valve, and you will see supraventricular cleft, which separate RV from infundibular part. And this is normal shape of right ventricle. As I told you, is very complex. So this RV shape in 3D, and this picture shows RV inlet portion and RV outlet portion. RV inlet is located medial to LV, and RVOT outflow tract or RV outlet portion is located superior to left ventricle. And body of right ventricles and trabecular myocardial are located myocardial area located anterior to LV and left around LV. And this echocardiogram, this is apical four-chamber view, subcausal four-chamber, and parasonal short axis. So RV will appear triangular shape when viewed from apical four chambers and subcausal four chamber view, and RV appears as crescent shape from short axis view. And this point is called RV apex, which near to base of heart than LV apex in normal subject. And for tricuspid morphology, normal tricuspid area in about is 4 to 6 centimeters square, and tricuspid valve has 3 leaflets, anterior, posterior, and septal leaflet. Each name corresponds with their position. Antero posterior may be called anterior leaflet, and inferior leaflet may be called posterior leaflet. And RV has 3 papillary muscles, anterior, posterior, and septal papillary muscles. Anterior papillary muscle is the largest papillary muscle. It gives caudal support to anterior leaflet and posterior leaflet. Posterior leaflet give caudal support to posterior and septal leaflet. And septal papillary muscle give caudal support to septal leaflet. And you will see a moderator band here and attached from RV free wall to interventricular septum, and is may attached to anterior papillary muscle. This is on face view, which obtains from subcausal window. This image demonstrates anterior, posterior, and septal leaflet. So subcausal can demonstrate 3 leaflet of tricuspid valve. And this is tricuspid valve which obtains from 3D echo. And this is on face view from ventricular perspective, and this from atrial perspective. This echocardiogram is a focus view, demonstrate lateral wall, anterior leaflet, and septal leaflet, and anterior papillary muscles here, and moderator band attached between anterior papillary muscles and interventricular septum. And this is RV morphology. Anatomic features of RV including there are trees opening of HVC, IVC, and cholecygnate, and cresta terminalis is muscle ridge which lies from HVC to IVC. And this is the opening of cholecygnate. It's inferior to IVC's opening, and valve of cholecygnate is called Trabecular valve, and valves of IVC is called Eustachian valve. And this is right atrial appendage is not visualized on 2D thoracic echocardiography. And this normal structure which seen on echocardiogram on right side, and this echocardiogram shows Eustachian valve at junction of IVC and right atrial. This indicated by arrowhead. This and this. And this demonstrates sharing network which a variant of Eustachian valve, but it's quite thin and penetrated and appears as a forcing structure in right atrium. The next one is crista terminalis. Crista terminalis is a muscle ridge. It appears like a mesh which aligns from posterior in epicardial chamber. So on 2D echo, right side height can be evaluated from this standard view, parasonal long, parasonal short, apical fold, and focused view, and subcausal fold chamber view. On parasonal long axis, you will see RVOT, which anterior to interventricular septum and aorta. So on parasonal long axis, RV info will this view is obtained by tilting transducer inferior and medial towards tricuspid valve, and this view is very important to assess anterior walls and inferior wall. And this is RV info view in accessory and RV info view in diastory. The arrow indicates anterior leaflet. And this views also show IVC and cholecystine drainage to right atrial. So you see cholecystine is inferior to IVC. When you tilt down transducer, but you still see IVC. So this leaflet is called septal leaflet of tricuspid valve. As we also view, you see distal part of RVOT, and this view may help to assess in patients with infundibulous stenosis and pulmonic valve stenosis. Parasonal short axis of aortic valve level, this will demonstrate proximal part of RVOT and distal part. And this will also demonstrate right atrium tricuspid valves here, which used to assess tricuspid regurgitation. And this is parasonal short axis at basal level and mid-cavity level show the crescent shape of right ventricle, which is anterior and medial to LV, and RV wrap around LV. Apical fold chamber will demonstrate triangular shape of RV. Of course, so demonstrate triangular shape of RV, tricuspid valve, RA. And this will use to assess RV wall thickness. Okay. Echocardiographic assessment of RV can be divided into two parts: qualitative assessment and quantitative assessment. RV quantitative assessment consists of RV linear dimension, RV wall thickness, RV systolic, and RV diastolic function. For qualitative assessment of RV means RV size is assessed by eyeballing. And RV size is assessed by apical fold chamber and subcausal view. So RV size is can be described as normal RV size, mildly dilated RV, moderately dilated RV, and severe dilated RV. Normal size is defined as RV is smaller than LV area. Is less than 2/3 of LV. Mildly dilated RV is defined as RV size become larger, but is still less than LV size. Moderate RV dilatation is defined as RV size is equal to LV size. Severely dilated RV is defined as RV size larger than LV size. And this visual assessment of RV. Qualitative assessment of RV including RV linear dimension, RV word thickness, and RV sensoric function. RV linear dimension consists of 6 measurements: RV basal, RV mid, longitudinal diameter, RVOT diameter as parallel long axis, RVOT proximal and distal part. To measure RV linear dimension, use RV focus field, and RV focus field is obtained by moving transducer laterally. Then choose endosteric phase to measure RV basal, RV mid, and longitudinal diameter. And then this is limitation of this measurement. It depends on transducer rotation. So you should rotate transducer until meet the maximum RV diameter. Then record that view. How to measure RV dimension? RV dimension is measured in endoscopy. RV basal should be measured at maximum basal diameters of RV and measure from RV field to interventricular septum. To measure RV mid diameter, you should divide RV into two parts, into equal parts. And RV mid diameter measured at the line which divides RV into equal parts. And the last one, RV longitudinal diameter is measured from midway of basal diameter to RV apex. And this is reference values of RV dimension. Normal RV basal is less than 41. Normal RV mid diameter is less than 35, and normal longitudinal is less than 83. ต้องจำนะคะ RVOT divided into two parts, proximal and distal. Proximal RVOT as parallel long measure from anterior RV wall to junction of IVC and aorta. And proximal RVOT at parallel short axis is measured from anterior RV wall to anterior walls of aortic valve. And distal RVOT is measured just proximal to pulmonic valve. And can be measured at parallel short axis at aortic valve level at this point, just proximal to pulmonic valve. And this measurement, RVOT distal, is used to calculate pulmonary flow to systolic flow or QS. And this is normal values of proximal and distal RVOT. This measurement with linear dimension, this measurement, our regional measurement, may not reflect global RV size, global RV function. Okay, to summarize, RV basal diameter should be measured in all complete echo study. RV basal, mid cavity and longitudinal diameter should be measured in patients with right side heart disease, pulmonary hypertension, congenital heart disease, especially in ASD, atrial septal defect, tricuspid regurgitation, and arrhythmogenic RV cardiomyopathy. RV wall thickness. RV wall thickness is best measured in subcostal flow chambers and can be measured by 2D image or 2D guide M mode at the level of bicuspid caudal at end-diastolic phase and epicardial fat and myocardial tuberculation should be echoed from this measurement. And normal values of RV wording is less than 5 millimeters in diameter. If RV wordiness is more than 5, this represents RV hypertrophy. The presence of hypertrophy may suggest RV pressure overload in case of pulmonary stenosis as I showed you. An increased thickness of RV wall is also seen in infiltrative cardiomyopathy and hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. For quantitative evaluation of RV systolic function, including bicuspid annular plane systolic excursion or TAPSE and tissue Doppler peak systolic velocity at tricuspid annulus and may be called as PALM. RV index of myocardial performance RIMP, functional area change or FAC. Bicuspid annular plane systolic excursion or TAPSE is measurement of RV longitudinal shortening based on the distance bicuspid annulus move toward RV apex. This occurs in longitudinal direction, so TAPSE is referred to longitudinal function of RV. And TAPSE is measured from apical flow chambers or RV focus view with M-mode cursor should be placed parallel to RV free wall. This RV free wall, and M-mode should be placed parallel to RV free wall and pass through lateral tricuspid annulus. Then you have to measure slope from end dias to end systole. เดี๋ยวนะ อันนี้ผิดนิดนึงนะคะแก้ด้วยนะ So you have to measure from end diastole to end systole. And then you will get the distance from this point to peak systole. So this line indicate TAPSE. Limitation of this measurement is angle dependent. And TAPSE is just RV longitudinal function is cannot represent RV global function. So RV longitudinal function is abnormal when TAPSE less than 17 millimeter. จำนะจ๊ะ DTI tricuspid annular systolic velocity or S-palm. RVS palm is referred to systolic function of right ventricle. And this measurement is also measured in the same view of TAPSE. PW sample volume cursor should be placed at basal segment of RV. And cursor should align with RV free wall. Then turn on tissue Doppler image, so you will get this echocardiogram. After that, measure at peak systolic velocity. So abnormal RV function is less than 9.5 centimeter per second. And this is RV index myocardial performance, also known as TIE index. These measurements refer to both systolic and diastolic functions of RV. And myocardial performance index is ratio of isovolumic contraction time plus isovolumic relaxation time and then divided ejection time. IVCT or isovolumic contraction time represent the time between diastolic valve closure to pulmonic valve opening. And IVRT, isovolumic relaxation time, represent the time between pulmonic valve closure to tricuspid valve opening. And ejection time is represent the time of ejection period. TCO is tricuspid valve closure to opening time, which the time include RV ejection time, IVC, and IVRT. So that TCO minus ET is equal to IVC plus IVRT. Thus, RV index myocardial performance is TCO plus ET and then divided by ET. RV index of myocardial performance can be measured by two methods: pulse Doppler and tissue Doppler. For pulse Doppler measurement, ejection time is measured with pulse Doppler at RVOT distal in parasternal short axis of aortic valves or parasternal short axis of PA bifurcation. And TCO, tricuspid closures opening time, is measured with Dopplers of tricuspid valve inflow, or measure time from onset of tricuspid regurgitation to the end. And these measurements are taken from different fields. So we will use beat with similar RR interval to obtain accurate value. And this tissue Doppler method or measurement measures from single beat. So no need RR interval matching. And this is reference limit for RV index myocardial performance RIMP more than 0.43 by using PW Dopplers indicate RV dysfunction, and RIMP more than 0.54 by using tissue Dopplers indicate RV dysfunction. Next measurement is RV fractional shortening. RV fractional area change is like ejection fraction of left ventricle, but fractional area change is calculated by area of right ventricle, and is measured by tracing RV endocardial border at end diastole and end systole in apical four chamber view or RV focus view. And tuberculation papillary muscle moderator band should be included in RV cavity. ไม่มีอะไรค่ะif functional area change less than 35 it indicate RV schizoid dysfunction. And this recommended parameter to assess RA size, which is RA volume. RA volume can be computed by using single plane area range or summation technique. And this parameter is measured by tracing area of RA in apical flow chamber at N schizoid. To measure RA size, RA divided into two dimensions, minor axis and major axis. Minor axis should be measured from lateral RV wall to interatrial septum at mid-atrial level. Major axis of right atrial is measured from plane of tricuspid valve to posterior wall of right atrium. And this is normal length for RA side. And this is normal value for RV function. and reference ไปหาอ่านกันได้ฮะมีคำถามไหมฮะยังไม่ได้ออกข้อสอบค่ะก็เลยไม่รู้ว่าจะบอกว่าอะไรแต่ว่าที่เน้นก็มีRV Worthiness Fractional Area Change แล้วก็ RV Dimension ประมาณนี้ค่ะฮัลโหลทุกคนยังไม่ตื่นกันใช่ไหม
ตื่นค่ะ
มันเป็นเรื่องสั้นๆนะคะโอเคงั้นเราถ้ามีคำถามก็ทักแชทมาแล้วกันนะคะแต่ก็คือเน้นอย่างที่บอกว่า RV Worthiness วัดตรงไหนวัดเท่าไหร่ RV Fractional Area Change อะไรแบบนี้แล้วค่าที่ควรจำก็เราก็ได้ไฮไลท์ไว้ให้เรียบร้อยแล้วงั้นก็แยกย้ายค่ะไปทวนไปอ่านหนังสือ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
อีกเรื่องหนึ่งนะคะพรุ่งนี้ตอนบ่ายที่เราส่งไลน์ไปอาจารย์พอดีอาจารย์โอ๊ตเขาติดคอนเฟอเรนซ์กับต่างประเทศเนาะเพราะฉะนั้นแกจะเลื่อนเป็นบ่ายโมง45โอเคประมาณนี้ค่ะแยกย้ายค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ